Hey y'all, this is Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey Kat. And this is the Fake Ass Book Club. Wait, can we both say it or no?
Welcome back to the Fake Ass Book Club. It's your girl Moni.
And this is Kat.
What's up, Kat?
Katt Williams. The Katt Williams is going to be the cat on this show today.
And you know a lot about that because your name is Kat.
Yeah.
You see what I did there? Yeah, man, it's inevitable, you guys. Like I was fighting it a little bit because I'm like, man, we're supposed to be reading these books.
And we did read a book.
It's the
We're
same
gonna
one.
put that book back on the shelf until next time.
Just
next time
until.
For real.
No, let's just say until because
We'll you'll just have to rip that Band-Aid off. You just have to make me.
Well, we have Fab Awards coming up too.
Oh,
There's just so many things.
We should
Honestly,
do the Fab Awards first.
I like the flexibility. This is why I love the Fake Ass Book Club. I hope you guys appreciate this about us as well.
We
We're
can't get
super
fired.
organized. Right, exactly. Who's going to check me, boo? All right, so with that, you guys, let's jump right into it. This is a fake ass episode, obviously. And because Katt Williams just decided to scorch the earth on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharpe, we just can't even skip over it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, you guys. A lot about that. And probably some other random stuff because that's usually how things go. So before we get into it, let's dedicate this episode, okay? So guys, hands over your hearts. Welcome back, you guys. Thanks again for joining us. I would like to officially thank our patrons. You guys are the best. You know how I feel about you. Mwah. Kisses. Also, I honestly want to dedicate this to Black Hollywood specifically because I do feel like creators of color do come up against a lot of different obstacles when they're trying to, be personalities, actors, whatever, do their art. And I don't know, like hearing Taraji kind of speaking her truth about like how they get paid, even Katt Williams, like this whole expression, this whole interview, it feels like there's a lot going on there. So I just want to shout out everybody in that space because clearly it's not always a safe space for Black and brown people. Clearly it has people out here losing their whole fucking minds. And I want to lead with some grace with that and just shout out to everybody in that creative space. So what about you, friend?
Yes, I want to do a two-parter again. I want to dedicate this to Black men. I didn't get to say it last episode because we're talking about the color purple. And I mean, even though a lot of people felt like it was like a harsh indictment of Black men, we love Black men here at the Fake Ass Book Club. I've married 2 of them. You married one. I don't know, made kids for them. I think they're pretty great.
That.
So just because like we might be saying something not positive about someone who is a Black man, that doesn't represent how we feel about them in general. I generally have very warm, wonderful feelings when it comes to Black men. And that chicken curry you made, can't stop talking about it.
Oh my
We went live earlier and talked about it. It's still in my system.
Wow.
Like when I tell you, I was like, came to see my friend and she had a pot of curry and gave it to me with some warm naan. And it turned my life around. And then she gave me a margarita, and then we ate apple pies. The end. Dedication over.
That was the best dedication. Thank you, friend. I'm glad you liked it. I honestly, I've made it before, but it's been a while. Because it's like, gosh, what can I make? That's one pot.
And I know your kids are probably used to it. They're used to just eating like this.
It's been a while.
No one cooks for me. So that's the thing. Like, I'm sorry, I'm yelling. Sorry for yelling. I'm getting loud. Getting loud just because I'm excited. I don't get a lot of home cooked meals that I don't make myself. So I got hype.
Well, and let's start with when you make home cooked meals. Or home cooked meals always taste better when you didn't have to make them. My in-laws were over here the other day. I made a lasagna and they were like gushing about this lasagna, and I'm like, some pretty basic lasagna, guys, but it was just like, right, exactly. I'm like, it's because you didn't have to cook it. You cook all the time. But I definitely understand that because when I go to your house and you've cooked something, it doesn't. If it's a soup, it don't even matter. I'm like, this is amazing. This is amazing.
So
what did you put in here? Love or something?
Like butter.
Butter. There was butter in that soup.
Okay.
There was actual butter in there this time. But anywho, so thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's nice to get those notes, back that you enjoyed it. It smells amazing. You can even smell it down here right now.
When I tell you,
it works out. Listen, food it fuels the soul. So I'm glad that we have the energy to jump into today's episode because my God,
I'm not gonna be hungry.
Oh my God, I just feel like we have to jump into it. So
how did you find out about this earth-shattering event?
I mean, honestly, I just kept seeing like little clips. Like, again, I have not really been on social media for like a length of time, but just anytime I'm on there trying to post something, like I'll scroll a bit and I just saw some like reels and stuff and I'm like, what the hell is this? This seems to the point where I'm like, okay, I don't even want to get on here because I need to like watch this interview because at this point, this is
falling apart.
Well, that's okay.
That's okay. I'm just
okay. Yeah, at this point, I need to see this interview so I can understand what's going on because what I will say is that when you're only getting like little
clips,
bits and stuff like that, you don't understand the context. So
you could cherry pick our episodes and make us look terrible.
Oh, we would look the worst. So I was like, in an effort not to do that, like let me try to watch this. So I didn't get to finish the whole thing because again, it was long. It was very, very long.
Longer than a Marvel movie.
But it said on January the 3rd, the internet was stopped in its tracks by precisely this, as Katt Williams sat down for a nearly 3-hour tour de force interview with ESPN First Take correspondent Shannon Sharpe on his podcast, Club Shay Shay. And then this is a quote from Katt Williams, you guys. "The reason I had to come is because you've made a safe place for the truth to be told," Williams said at the top of the interview. "And I have watched all of these lowbrow comedians come here and disrespect you in your face and tell you straight up lies." He was there to set the record straight, and Sharpe was ready to roll with the whole interview. So you guys, it was a 3-hour. I mean, the man, I felt like it was a therapy session, and maybe like should have been done in the confines of like.
Well, because I asked
a healthcare professional
when I came in today before we started recording, like, if there was a scenario where we had a guest who came on and started talking crazy shit about people we had as guests on before, like, would we air it? Because we have it's an edited podcast. I feel like his is pretty edited, you know?
It would have to be.
Yeah, so you can take stuff out, and we have, like, a lot of times we'll say stuff and be like, oh, let's take that out.
Yeah.
And so, and you said no.
Yeah, and I did. And I feel like the reason why...
Or you said you would take it out.
I would take it out.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's not really what our podcast is. And I don't want anybody to feel like if they're coming on this show that we're creating a platform where we're allowing other people come in and like shitting on them. Now, what I will say is that there would be if we were to publish something like that, there would have to be a disclaimer. Like, I feel like there would have to be a conversation about like, look,
we let them go
not
off.
right. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, I can't control what a guest says, and this person is speaking their truth. So this isn't like a reflection of how we feel or think,
right?
Just because we're publishing
We'd
it.
be like,
people are going to want to hear this, though. They
do not reflect the opinions of the Fab Podcast.
It would be
or
that
its sponsors or affiliates.
Yeah, so it would be that, or for just the patrons, maybe.
I don't know. I might let it ride because
clicks, right?
Clicks. I mean, we're talking about it. It really got people going. Now, Michael Blackson, he brought up a point. He's like, you mentioned all these people just to make yourself relevant again. Like all these,
and then you're mentioning him.
And then you're mentioning but
like that's what we are all doing.
Some of it does have to be addressed because I felt like some of it wasn't exactly accurate information that you necessarily want to be out there. To me, that was the only thing that to me would have been ethically sort of like, well, maybe we don't release that, at least not without a disclaimer, because it wasn't necessarily very good information, and we don't want to have a platform for people to spread disinformation.
I mean,
but like I looked it up because like I said, I wasn't familiar. Huh?
You said you looked what up?
Club Shay Shay.
Oh,
I wasn't familiar with the platform.
Yeah.
I'm not a sports person. I wasn't up on it. And so I saw that the Katt Williams interview at the time I looked at it had 29 million views. That's a lot. So I went to see like how many views he usually gets. And it's somewhere like around 1 to 2 million views for
which
on
is
average,
still
which
really
is
good.
really good.
Hello.
Like he's obviously, but there's something about mess.
And I think that's the real conversation, is it not? I mean, that's one of the conversations. That's one of the themes in that whole interview, is that, you know, so like one of the messy points that he was trying to make was that he was talking about the fact that he had been offered by Harvey Weinstein to suck him off in front of like a room of people.
Yeah, how do you feel as far as like truthiness for that one? Because, I mean, it's not impossible, but I feel like when all the Me Too stuff was coming out, that might have been a story. If there was a room full of people, maybe there might have, I don't know. Mm-mm. Maybe not.
You know, I think especially when you talk about, you know, men in those situations. I mean, think about how Terry Crews got dragged for making a comment that he was. I just don't even feel like we really make a safe place for men to have those conversations. And so, for one, you don't want to be associated with any conversation that has anything to do with some man either offering to give you oral sex when you consider yourself straight. You want to disassociate 100%. So I could see how, as somebody who even maybe witnessed it, it's like, yeah, nah. Like I feel
like there might be some collaboration though in today's climate, if that happens. Because I feel like he was making, just me personally, just the way he was talking and the cadence.
Mm-hmm. It was very manic.
It felt manic, and some of it did feel made up. Like a lot of people did come back and been like, okay, like with the Friday stuff, Ice Cube was like, okay, the character was already written for, or Friday After Next.
Okay.
For the, what was the character?
Money Mike.
Money Mike. But he was like, yeah, Katt Williams, he punched it up for sure. Yeah. But like he didn't create the character and stuff like that. And also it's a weird thing to fight about.
I don't think he said he created
said that
the character.
He said was Ricky Smiley read for it originally. And then later on they decided to move him to a different role and then move Katt into it, which isn't uncommon in Hollywood. He just framed it as if it was some sort of diabolical thing. It's like it wasn't.
Well, what I got was that he was saying that Ricky Smiley got on Shannon Sharpe's platform and made it sound like he originally was supposed to have that role and he was gonna have the Santa Claus role, and he was just saying he felt like that was
harming him?
Not harming him. He was just like, that feels like, why are you saying that? Because nobody would ever cast a 5'4" man as a Santa Claus role or something like that.
It would be funny.
Would it?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah. Like I've seen all kind of, I mean, Phyllis played Santa. You know, like true. He's not
so
real.
He was just like, he's not.
Sorry, guys, spoiler, or sorry if you guys don't know. But like
Santa's not real.
So sometimes it is funny to subvert people's expectations.
Yeah.
Is Ricky Smiley skinny? He's not fat.
No, he's not either, but he was supposed to be a crackhead actually, dressed as Santa. So that was the whole thing.
I feel like
so
it's
anywho,
not like
they both could be crackheads at the end of the day.
Anybody could be crackheads for
we all
sure.
Could.
He was also making the claim like no studios ever lost any money on him. I think that's not quite true. There's enough evidence that that's what Kevin Hart was saying. He was like, look, I tried to put you on and you didn't show up. So multiple times. So like, don't
see, but this is my ultimate feeling about all of this is that it's honestly, we'll never know. You know, there has to be some truth in what Katt is saying, and obviously there has to be some truth in what other people are saying, because that's what I didn't get a chance to see was like rebuttals to.
Oh yeah, I looked up everything.
I
looked up
I haven't
Ice Cube's
seen
rebuttal, Ced's rebuttal.
Really?
Like I looked up everybody's rebuttals because everyone was at Tiffany's rebuttal because he was going in on everybody.
Yeah, I didn't even get to the point where he was talking about her.
It just seems to me like he was. He's just kind of bitter about us. And I also went back and looked through his arrest record. Because
he's got a lot.
Yeah, like he just has a history of erratic behavior. And it does seem like maybe it is tied to the fact that he did have to leave home at a young age. Because that was a part of the interview that was interesting. Yeah. When he wasn't talking about other people, when he was talking about himself, it was very interesting. Mm-hmm. And just talking about, like, he does seem like someone who is very bright. He's obviously gifted and talented, had to strike out on his own early. And that obviously had some challenges, but to me, it's odd when Neil Brennan brings up the fact that of stand-up comedians, there's maybe 250 in the whole world. There's more brain surgeons than stand-up comedians, basically. Like it's something that's
known ones or just
no. Like just
including the people we don't know who do stand-up comedy just like on the weekends
just like
as a hobby.
the ones that could book.
Okay.
Yeah, like working like stand-up comedians, like the ones who are like actually like have specials and stuff like that. Who really
have
do
specials.
this,
Thank
like
you. Because I'm
really do the
stuff.
stuff.
There's a lot of comedians.
It's not an easy job, and so a lot of times there's a certain camaraderie there because you understand the work.
Sure.
And I feel like what he was trying to do was just kind of make it seem like the people who had made it was because they didn't keep their butthole a virgin.
There was definitely that. He basically came out and said that.
And the fact that he was trying to say he's not homophobic, but you were kind of saying some things that made it sound like you don't want to ever be portrayed. Like I said, like, well, don't write me as someone who's gay. And it's like, well, you're acting. So sometimes straight actors do have to play gay parts just for representation. You don't have to be a gay actor to play a gay role. Mm-hmm. So there was a couple things where it was like, you're saying you're not homophobic, but a lot of the things you're saying, like, I understand, like, necessarily you wouldn't want to wear a dress, but there's no reason to disparage the actors who have. Like, there's nothing humiliating. It's like, because I think a lot of homophobia is wrapped up in misogyny. So this idea of like, well, I don't want to dress up like a woman because that's humiliating. Whereas like a woman dressing up like a man isn't humiliating because we don't think of men as lesser. But we do think of women as being something lesser. So dressing up as a woman like humiliates you.
Yeah. But I mean, I also understand how as a grown man, I don't want to wear a dress.
That's the first thing I said. I understand that first
you know
and
what
foremost.
I mean?
Like, you can only do
like,
what you're
I get
comfortable
that.
with. But there's no point in dragging people who have.
Right. I mean, because here's the thing. I think that the through line that's trying to be drawn there is that like I have to be doing that to be popular, because there is a feeling like, well, if you're of a certain caliber, there's a point in which you're going to be asked, like, are you going to throw on this muumuu? And it's like, if there are women actors out here who can have these roles, why are you giving? It's almost, and this isn't necessarily how I feel. Like, I don't know that I've actually really thoughtfully thought about like, where do I stand on like men dressing up or not dressing up as women to perform certain roles. But I will say that there are enough funny women out here who it's like, why wouldn't you give, you know what I'm saying? Like with these women a chance, you know what I'm saying? It would be like giving a role to a non-person of color to play a role of somebody, you know what I mean? Like, so there is some of that in there that I think is a valid critique. But at the same time, you're right. I mean, there's going to be a range of things that you might be asked to do within the confines of being an actor or an actress. And, it does come down to your own personal sort of.
Yeah. Like for Eddie Murphy
like what it is.
The Clumps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that
to
was
me, that
hilarious.
worked. Like,
the granny was my favorite.
I don't think he,
Come on,
like, I don't think he's like less of a man because he dressed up as the different things. So I think but that is a conversation that's been had in comedy for a long time.
Yeah, I think so
Because it's like you have like Flip Wilson, like there's people who've done it, and then there's this idea that Hollywood tries to emasculate you, but if you're confident in your masculinity, nothing can what would take away my femininity? You know what I mean? Like there's this idea that somehow masculinity is more fragile than femininity.
I mean, in a lot of ways, I think it is though. Oof. And not, but I think the perception is that because I mean, there's a way more narrow line that has to be walked in order for you to be considered, masculine or whatever. You know what I mean?
I think that takes us back to our last book.
Yeah, it does.
Where
the
it's
gender
kind of
roles.
like, so if you're sewing, are you doing bitch work now?
Yeah. Whole ass bitch work. And you look crazy. Okay? I mean, and that's the thing too.
Or
it's
carrying
like,
a diaper bag. We were
Oh
talking
my
about that
gosh,
earlier,
we
about like
were.
men don't want to carry a diaper bag because then I look like a bitch who takes care of his kids. Your bitch ass.
help me, y'all. Like
I'm gonna leave him wet so he can be a man until his mama can change his wee-wee.
Right. It's like you get a whole diaper rash because I am averse to carrying
carry things.
An apparatus that houses the tools I need to care for my child. Like that is weird to me. I'm grateful that wasn't a thing in my life. Like my husband didn't have a problem carrying around a diaper bag if he needed to, if he was gonna have the fucking kids. You look crazy. You just gonna be holding that stuff in your hands? You just gonna be carrying the diapers
or Waltzing Matilda.
A waltzing Matilda.
Keep it on your...
The stick and a...
Yeah.
What is that? And a handkerchief. Mm-hmm. No, we're not doing that. So, yeah, I mean... Again, it's very fragile apparently because, I mean, even just, carrying the paraphernalia of like having a child who you may or may not be taking care of is a problem.
I didn't realize he had adopted 7 children.
So I didn't know it was 7, but I knew it was a bunch. Because he talks about that a lot in his specials. Like he has a bunch of kids that aren't his that he takes care of.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
I mean, that might make you go crazy. I mean, you wouldn't even need drugs to go crazy if you had that many kids.
It's so true. I think, when I was watching, the part of the interviews that I did see, it felt to me a lot like the conversation that, so as people who like to read books, there are certain books that get pushed forward that are popular, especially when you're talking about like Black folks. There's a certain, you could like, if I said, what do you think is one of the most popular just books that most Black people have read? Don't say The Color Purple, but just like,
men or women? Because I think men and women.
Give me one of each. Yeah, give me one of each.
Things. So I feel like men, 48 Laws of Power, and for women,
Black women specifically.
No, what would you say?
I don't know, Sister Soldier.
Maybe Sister Soldier, The Coldest Winter.
The Coldest Winter ever.
The Coldest Winter.
Right. And so when we say that title out loud, like, how does that make you feel? Like, do you have any thoughts or feelings about that book in particular? Like,
I never read it.
Okay, that's fair.
Read it.
That's good. See, I like that you said that.
Okay.
I think what ends up happening is that as a book reader, as a comedian, as a hairdresser, as a person who considers yourself a professional, you hold yourself to a certain standard. I kept hearing him say, like, Shannon, you are an athlete. Like, if somebody comes into the gym on steroids and they're in here talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out here in these streets.
Oh, he was saying like juicers can't talk to the pros. Here's the thing though, all the pros juice.
That's not, so the point.
So to me, that was an uneven metaphor because
what I feel like he's trying to say is that he feels like he's put in the work. He feels like
Shannon
he's
Sharpe
done
never
a lot.
said like, yeah, I never juiced.
No, he did.
Because that's the
like,
thing.
why
like,
would he implicate himself?
He's trying to say that these comedians are like professionals who juice, but the fact of the matter is, people on that level, a lot of times to keep performing, you have to use a lot of those. Like,
I think he wants special recognition because he has not, though. Do you know what I'm saying? It's almost just like I've never used. It would be like. It reminds me of American Fiction. I know we're probably going to talk about this on the show, but like that whole conversation about like, as a writer, I'm holding myself to this standard. I'm doing this kind of research. And it's like people don't give a fuck about that.
They don't.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's the cheap liquor, the mid-range, and then like the blue label stuff. And it's like people just want to get drunk. People don't want to spend that $115 for that fifth of premium because it's like I can get this fifth of, you know what I'm saying? And so like I think that's what he's trying to say.
He was trying to say these other comedians were like that. Like,
yeah, that's. I mean, and I'm not.
That to me was like what was unfair because I wouldn't say that. Like when he was going after Cedric the Entertainer and saying like he stole jokes for him.
He was like he can't dance, he can't sing, he's not funny.
I was like, Cedric the Entertainer to me he wouldn't be where he was if he didn't work hard. So trying to say like he's going after people who took shortcuts or like cheated him in some way, from what I've observed, like I said, I'm not in that, but to have gotten where Cedric the Entertainer has and to toured with like the way that he has, like you had to put in work. Like I don't think Cedric the Entertainer just let someone fuck him and now he's where he is. Like, I think even...
No, Sid.
I think even Tina Fey brought that up because she talked about people who are in the game who are trying to, shortcut, go the route of like, I'm gonna sleep with these people to get ahead. And she's like, the only thing you're gonna get good at is blowjobs. You're not gonna get good at telling jokes. So you have to do the work. It's like you can get the chances, but if you don't have the talent, you're not gonna have the staying power.
Yeah.
So there's always those people who do try those maneuvers because who was Moni and Kat dude? He was still in jokes.
Who?
Who's Mencia? Carlos Mencia.
Oh, was he?
He was doing that. He was doing the okey doke, and he didn't last. Like he was a flash in the pan.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, Moni and Mencia and stuff like that. So like there are people who do little gimmicky stuff, they're hacks. That's what comics call them. Like, you're hacky, and you're not going to have the staying power of people who've been in the business for years and years. He didn't have to say Earthquake was illiterate. Like, that was a low blow. That was a low blow. I was like, what? Has Earthquake even been on the show? Because he was talking about people who haven't been on the show.
And he's hilarious. And Earthquake, he's a national treasure. He's pretty funny.
Like, what did he do to deserve that? Like, it felt like hate. Like,
that just was, though. And that's what, at the end of the day, I mean, that's why everybody tuned in. Because, again, we all want to see the mess. We love to see these, sort of, I don't even know, eruptions of just emotion where people are just spewing, all of this crazy stuff. But for me, it made me feel, I was like, damn, I wish he would have been able to have this conversation, because clearly it's something that's bothering him. He feels a way. Mm-hmm. And I think that people do want to just be heard. I just hate that, like, it was on this platform and it was in this way. I wished.
Well, because it was on such a big platform, I think that's why people did have to clear it up. Which is why it was kind of like, ethically, should Shannon Sharpe have maybe at least released a disclaimer instead of, because he went for Joe Rogan too.
Did he? See, I didn't get that far.
Oh yeah, Katt Williams, he was coming for Joe Rogan.
Oh, because he said something about he don't have us like on his show. He said he has non-funny people on his show.
And it's like, chill out. Like, and here's my thing. Like, Joe Rogan, same thing. Like, he also needs to have some disclaimers on his show, because he platforms some people who say a lot of incorrect things, and it just.
It's like, this is a podcast.
Yeah, but it's like, you still have to that you're reaching millions of for people. Like,
we're reaching like 3 people, and I'm always like, Kat, every episode I'm putting in there like, hey, we're just 2 hoes.
Check this out on the internet.
Having fun.
But like, for the people who, and like I said, who make their careers, this way, like for Kevin Hart, what I'm saying? He's gonna be fine. Whatever, you can say whatever you want to about Lil Kev.
He was already making jokes.
Yeah, he was gonna be fine, but I can understand, like, because I feel like Kevin does seem to do a lot for other comedians. Just observably.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't know what all he does and what all he doesn't do. And I don't doubt that there are gatekeepers in Hollywood. I don't doubt that they're, like, if you're not in, because that is the thing, right, with air quotes, Black excellence. Like, I do think that, like, when you're not associated with certain groups, if you're not singing certain songs, because I think about our podcast, I'm like, so, like, if we were really trying to get in pop culture, in the zeitgeist, what would we have to do? And it would be more stuff like this. Yeah. It would be us turning around right now and synchronizing
like,
twerk.
Fuck bellies and bullshit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then just doing like a twerk routine.
Right.
With the, like,
it's like, they
don't
do what we do. They don't put in the work that we
do.
And just kidding. I love bellies and bullshit. That's the thing. We love everybody.
And I mean, then for the people who it's like, I don't see it for you, I don't, like, why would I even spend my time talking about it?
Like, that's the thing. Like, we don't want to.
Because I don't care. So it's just like,
and I don't want to give them free promotion.
I don't.
Because that's the other thing. At the end of the day,
I will freely promote the things.
It's all publicity.
Like.
There's no such thing as bad publicity. The only thing being, like, with Katt Williams, because I feel like with him and Kev, like, it's an ongoing feud. Like, it's been going on for a while. So and from what I was able to just on the outside looking in observe, because Kevin does seem to have a habit of wanting to bring people with him. Like, you see Kevin presents blah, blah, blah. Kevin Hart presents blah, blah, blah. So you see this. It looked like he tried to do that for Katt Williams, and Katt Williams screwed him over. Katt Williams was like, I set you up with the studio execs. You didn't show up. I don't know if it was. Yes.
Oh, no.
He was like, I set you up for this and this. You didn't show up for the promotional tour. You didn't show up for this. Like, this is what I can show you why I don't work with you anymore and why I don't put you on anymore, because I have a career to protect.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I still have people who want it and who don't get distracted by whatever distractions are going on. And it doesn't take away from his talent.
No.
He's like, I love, I would love to put him on. But it's like anything else where someone is like, okay, I tried. Like, I don't know what else to do.
And we all know those people where it's like, yo, what else could I mean, like, I've done everything.
You're obviously a very funny individual. And it reminds me too a little bit of the rap game where they go after performers who don't write all their own rhymes. I always feel like that was unfair. Like,
if you don't write your own.
Yeah, not all of them. Nobody I feel like no one writes all of their own stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
not
even
100%.
Michael Jackson had to, you know what
collaborate.
I mean?
It's a collaborative effort.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, somehow you're lacking because you don't come up with everything
Well,
yourself.
here's the thing, too. You can come up with something and somebody can deliver it better than you sometimes, arguably, right?
Like Dolly Parton.
Listen, I
She's
will always
a great
love you.
songwriter. And it's not like, oh, Dolly Parton can't, you want to say Dolly Parton can't sing?
No, Dolly, she can sing. She can
blow
write.
down.
And Whitney did something with that song she could never.
You never. And Dolly Parton didn't go and hate on her. She was just like,
said,
wow.
"Strange."
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, when you see somebody elevate the work that you've created, like that's
Make
the
you
whole
$1 trillion.
And that.
That doesn't hurt.
You made me relevant again. You know what I'm saying? This was an
because I feel
old
like
song.
every time the writer still gets like royalties,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That's still a fairly popular
It's
song.
a real pop. My kids know it. They're new here.
It's so good.
It's a good song.
It's so good. So yeah, I think in the creative sphere, this was a lesson.
Oh my gosh.
About a lot of times, because you do hear this does happen in every profession, not just comedy. I feel like every once in a while, there will be someone who's like, well, this person did something to me, or this is. I thought we talk about a book real quick.
Okay.
A real book.
All right.
By Norman Lear. He passed last year. Peace to him. No one's perfect, right? There's a lot of things you can point to, like he did this. A lot of what he did was help to integrate television.
Okay.
And he wrote a book called Even This I Get to Experience. And because I remember there was something, Katt, when he was talking about being on Friday After Next, and this was his one shot. Well, what a lot of people in the industry, in any industry, talk about how it's like you don't have one shot. Like you have to go. It's a continuation. Like even if something, because he talks about even this I get to experience because there's so many low points in his life. There's several times where he was at the top of his game and then had to declare bankruptcy. Like all of this, or lose his house or get a divorce. Like there's all these things that happen. But his attitude was like, wow, even this I get to experience and live through. Okay. And you know that, and if you get old enough, you know you just live through stuff.
It's true.
And you get out on the other side. So
I just felt like, God, man, I wished that this conversation was one he had with somebody who, like in a safe environment, like not in front of everybody. I feel like he deserves healing in this space because it just was giving like unhealed person.
And that's what I hate. His dad.
Yeah, I mean, like
because it sounds like
he had
his
a hell
story,
of a childhood.
He was very ambiguous. Like he wouldn't come out and just say stuff.
I felt like that too. It was very, you weren't disclosing, like you were talking around the questions that he was asking.
I'm familiar with that style. It's very similar with men who want you to sleep with them. Like they're not going to tell you everything.
A girl, I mean,
yeah.
I know girls.
It was pen talk. You know what I'm saying? It's pen talk. So he's talking, but from what I could glean, it sounds like he got kicked out of the house at 13, like violently. And it sounds like his dad was really, really strict. Like he didn't say what kind of religious background he had.
He said they were Jehovah's Witnesses.
Okay, that's a high demand religion.
Yeah.
And
especially if you're going hard.
That's why he was friends with Prince. Okay, but I mean, you should have been friends with Michael Jackson too. He's JW as well.
Listen.
Anyway, I don't know. This idea of like somehow all these people have made deals with the devil, but the devil can't bless you. Like these were the things he was saying, and it was like, okay, just because people are successful doesn't mean they made a deal with the devil. Like Michael Che had a bit about this in his special, and I think on his sketch show too, about he was kind of playing it like The Bachelor, because they made it sound like you have to sacrifice people to get these deals in Hollywood and stuff like that.
So who are you gonna kill?
He was like, so he's like, I gotta pick a family member to sacrifice so that I can get this deal. So, and here's the other thing. I've been wanting to say this.
Okay.
If you could just perform a sexual favor or sign your soul over to be successful, we'd have way more successful people. I know people like to tell themselves they're too good, and that's why they don't have success, because they weren't willing to sell their soul. I'm gonna go ahead and just
you're pulling their cards?
I think so. No, I think we'd see a lot more quadrillionaires out there if that's all it took. was just a handy in the bathroom or something like that. Like, yeah, y'all.
It just never stops there. Just put it like that. It's like, I mean, that's yeah.
Like I said,
I feel like it would take way more than that.
You might get one door opened because that was. I finished watching Succession on HBO last night.
Oh, it was so good.
It was so good.
Succession
but
was
like,
great.
What's his name? Roy Logan. He would have his little, slam pieces that he try to get on. But like he'd give them the opportunity to do a screen test and they're awful. So it's like, yeah, you took, you let the top man take you down so you get this role, but you're not going to go anywhere because we can't put you on TV because you're not good.
Yeah, that part. I mean, you do have to, right, at the end of the day, there has to be something there that people want to see.
That's what Tina Fey said. Talent is not sexually transmitted.
If only.
If only.
That should
so
be,
many other things are, though.
Da-na-na.
But yeah, that's one of the things that won't be. So yeah, you're not going to have staying power in the industry without doing the work. And I think that's what bothered me about it, because like I said, he does seem like he's in pain and he does deserve to get that worked out. But talking shit about people you've worked with usually isn't going to be an avenue to that, because now if I'm a producer, I'm definitely not going to hire you. Because I know I'm going to get talked about. Because I'm not going to be perfect.
It's already hard.
It's already hard.
And what did you think about his comments on Jonathan Major?
I didn't get to that part. So, I did see the thing where he was talking about these guys all getting funny looking light-skinned women. That was faces. Rude.
That was kind of funny, but...
But is that even? Because I honestly don't even know who people are married to.
I don't
feel
either.
Like maybe
I would
Ice
assume
Cube's
they're
wife
light
is
skin. I would assume they are.
She was. I'm trying to think of Ice Cube's wife. She's once again that was
his
wife
alike.
Before she was famous. Oh, she got eyebrows.
Yeah, she's got them eyebrows.
But they were together before he was famous.
They were.
So
it wasn't like she got traded in. It's like I've been with a light skin.
And I feel like just generally people do better when you stay with who was with you before you took off.
LeBron.
Chappelle, like they seem to. I don't know. I'm just saying. But what did he say specifically about?
Okay, on Jonathan Majors.
Oh boy.
I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she'd have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors. Not because I don't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other woman, but I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be the King the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
Okay, I actually did hear him say that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
And then he said, thank you, Megan Good. God bless you for becoming to save this slave.
No. And that's the other thing, too, with the Megan Good situation, because I don't believe for a second they were a couple. But going back, because that's still putting the responsibility on the white woman. There are plenty, we see it in Hollywood all the time. There are plenty of black men with light women or white women, whatever, and they don't get arrested. Like it's only because if you touch them, they bruise more obviously than darker skinned women. So if you don't touch them, they don't bruise. So get as many white women as you want. Just don't beat on them.
Thank you, Megan Good. God bless you for coming to save that slave.
For a fee. I'm pretty sure she's being paid to kick it.
If he'd had to been there by himself, he was getting all 4. Guilty. And they came in just so that, he said, she came in there just so beautiful that they had to knock off half of it. Bless his heart.
Once again, I don't think she did it for free, and nor should she have. And I'm not going to disclose my source. I will after we get off mics. But I have it on clear authority. He's never dated a black woman before Megan Good. She's been cast in that role to make him more sympathetic. But I actually do have sympathy for him, though, even without the Megan Good stuff. Like, it's just you can't be tussling with a woman in the backseat of a cab in New York. Just let her have the phone. For next time.
First of all, they went around the world for 2 years straight telling women, any woman who would listen, that he was a good-looking Negro. Since when? When did they start liking a big nose?
Oh,
when did y'all like a little head and big jaw? When? That looked like my daddy. When y'all start liking my daddy? You like black people's features like that?
Yeah.
If this ugly nigga is good looking, then all niggas is good looking.
Yeah, I would totally put it on Jonathan Major's face. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I thought he was. I remember in Lovecraft Country, I would have like. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Like, yeah.
Wait a
That
minute.
might go to Patreon.
News just in, Fred.
I've always thought he was gorgeous. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he all right.
He's wildly attractive to me.
Oh my God.
Okay, so I didn't hear him talk about Jonathan Majors' physical appearance.
I
That's
died.
wild. I find him, I mean, personality flaws aside, he's a gorgeous person to look at. That's why I was so mad about this, because I was looking forward to the Kang the Conqueror story arc.
Because you were ready for
wanted
Kang to conquer
a
you.
stadium
I see what
of
this
Jonathan
is now.
Majors. Are you kidding me right now?
Ew. So,
Because given the chance, I would much prefer Jonathan Majors to Katt Williams if we're talking about sexual.
Come on. I mean, just
a triple X throwdown.
not a triple X. It's like I got my money on Majors, guys. Got my money on the Majors.
I mean, not to say, I'm sure Katt Williams would be a fun time on the town, but
I think, he's got a low center of gravity, so we don't want to count him out. But
Sure.
honestly, if I had my choice too, I'm definitely going with Jonathan Majors. For me, like, he's a physical specimen. It's more his body than it is for me. Like, his face is beautiful. I don't think he's a ugly man per se. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think overall,
I'm gonna bite his nose.
yeah.
Get in there.
Okay. To each his own. He's cool. You know what I'm saying? I think overall, like, so out of 10, what are you giving him?
Oh, he's like a 9.5.
Straight up?
Straight up.
Oh, damn.
Oh, yeah.
Nah. I'm giving him an 8.
Give him an 8. Okay.
Yeah, he's an 8. And it's mostly because of his
Because that's how
his physical body.
And even with that, like, that's how bad I wanted to forgive him. I'm still willing to forgive him. Like, if he was like,
if Mr. can make the turnaround,
I'm saying,
so can he.
I'm saying, you just tussling a little over the phone. Like, it hasn't escalated.
He didn't
to
punch her in her face. No, I'm just kidding.
He didn't knock her teeth out like Fabulous.
Oh, ooh.
Everybody
Right,
remember
y'all
that?
still listening to his
He ain't
songs.
canceled.
Emily
That's
B,
weird.
sorry
Is he
about
still
you.
touring?
Shit, I don't know.
Moving on.
Yeah, let me not
Back to
talk about
Katt
some shit I don't know
Williams.
about. But yeah, so that I just thought that was a fun little thing to bring up because he did go in on that. What about Ludacris though?
What did he say about Luda?
There was a crossword. Okay, it's the margaritas. Crossroads.
Crossroads.
Meet me at the
Crossroads.
crossroads. You don't be lonely. Okay. There was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us. We were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburns thing no more with the points. Damn. So wait a minute.
I didn't know the Illuminati were
They
so
care about your
strict about
facial
hair like that. Huh.
And who are the Illuminati?
The Black Illuminati. There was an episode of Cleveland show about it. So once again, I feel like that was what that Michael Che sketch was about. Like, for joining the Black Illuminati, you got to sacrifice a family member, do something gay.
You have to count, or you have to cut your sideburns off. And the next person they said was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million to do a movie, to do 20 movies. And then that's how we're going to pay him the $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams. Update: on January 4th, Ludacris responded to Williams on a video freestyle he posted on Twitter. In it, he rapped that he's never been in an Illuminati and said addictions on the rise. I was trying to rap it. That was not successful. Addictions on the rise. Comedians, check your temperature. Ooh.
So I have to be
Yowza.
honest. I don't really believe in sort of the Illuminati conspiracy stuff.
What are we talking about?
I feel like once again,
Illuminati?
it's a fun.
Are we just talking about a sorority or a fraternity? Because I almost kind of feel like that's why I couldn't ever
a lot
be
of
a part.
people feel like it's Jews.
Jewish
people.
the Illuminati is
Yes,
Jewish
like the
people?
globalist Zionist conspiracy. Like, there's all these different things about everything. You don't even need conspiracies when there's racism. We have a good enough conspiracy going on right now.
It's like it's happening.
It's doing most of the work.
Oh my.
So we have sexism, we have racism. They're doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Really, the Illuminati does it. What would they be doing at this point?
What are they said to be doing?
Well,
they're
they
the
control
gatekeepers.
Hollywood and the media. Read Jews.
So that's basically the Illuminati. When
and then they're
going to
make you
Jewish
gay
people.
Jews.
Wait, what?
It doesn't make sense. Like, whenever you hear people talk about this stuff,
scared.
You know what it reminds me of when you were reading it? It reminds me of when people read a Trump quote. Because a lot of it is in the cadence. When he's talking.
It was super manic. I know I said that already, but it was like, it was giving, bipolar. Like, I don't, I know somebody who struggles with that. And it's like, sometimes like I can have a conversation and it's like, it's coherent for a while. And then we start to branch off. And I'm like, this is the part where I don't know where we are exactly.
Right. I don't know how to respond to that.
To this.
So.
And you see glimpses of the coherent conversation, but then there's parts of it that's like.
It's like, okay. And I do have like conversational pivots I used to get out of that zone where you're kind of like, get me out of here.
What is it? Do you have a go-to? This is fun.
Well, it depends on what we were talking about earlier. Usually I'll pivot us back. I try to take us back to earlier in the conversation.
Okay.
Usually when stuff like that is happening.
It's like back when it was regular.
But I try to get us out of that general area. But the idea that somehow Ludacris isn't an incredibly hardworking, talented person who got to where he was by, relentlessly pursuing his goals instead of just like, I went to an Illuminati meeting and did something gay. Like, I don't think that's what...
That's reductive.
A little. It's a little reductive to what... And I don't know why he would have a beef with Ludacris. He's not even a comedian. What did Ludacris do to him?
Don't know.
Or and just beat him out at the Illuminati meeting, I guess.
Yeah. They both had sideburns at the same time, and it was a problem. So.
I mean, if he wanted to change his look, I think that's fine. If you want to go from Ludacris to just Chris...
Or just Luda, or
and
whoever.
That's the thing too. You know what you never hear about Ludacris. You never hear about him assaulting anybody. You never hear about him robbing anybody.
Now, I don't know.
That's what I'm just saying. You just never hear
I
about
haven't.
it.
Well, but that doesn't mean a lot, I don't think.
It means more.
I haven't heard a lot. No, I mean like as far as I can't. Well, I'm just saying.
I'm not
me
saying
personally,
you've never done it. I'm just saying I've never
haven't heard of it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Katt
Is
Williams,
all I'm
I've heard
saying.
about him assaulting people.
Yeah, but that's what they want you to know about him. I think that's what he's saying, Kat. You're missing the point. They're after him.
I mean, and those are just the times he got arrested. I have to assume like there's probably been some other times.
He said every single time he's been arrested, he's been released, and his true fans know that it's always on some BS.
That's just how this system works.
He's
You
magic.
can get OR'd, you can get bonded out. Like, it doesn't mean you didn't do it.
Voila, magic. Okay.
But just because you get out of jail doesn't mean you didn't do it. Right? Like, maybe
true.
I'm wrong. It sounds to me like one time he went back to jail because he was in violation of his bond. So, like, that's the thing. Like, because you have to not do anything while you're out on bond. What? To keep the bond good. And then you forfeit the money.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I just want the man
I'm sorry.
to get some help.
I heard a lot of
about
pain,
Faison
and I
Love.
hate-
He talked about
What
Michael
did Faison
Blackson.
Love do to him?
Not
Because-
Big Perm, not Big Worm.
Because
you know
he's
what I'm
not
saying?
even someone. He's more of a character actor, right?
I guess. I mean, is he a stand-up person?
stand-up?
Well, so here's the beef he had with Faison. He said,
Okay.
I only put comedians on that are funnier than me. Anybody ever told you differently was a fat Faison liar. There's nobody like me in the business. Faison said that getting a Netflix special is easy. I have 12. Guess how many Faison got? 0. Okay. Why is he allowed to have conversations about real stand-up people? Why not let people in on these conversations? Why do we let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes?
Well, here's the thing. Like, and that's why I think Shannon Sharpe didn't say anything to address that. 'Cause
You
he's like,
can't.
here's the thing. Like, a lot of real athletes are on the juice. So let's keep that 100. I don't even think that's unethical. I think they should be totally allowed to use whatever performing
You have
enhancing
been
drugs.
saying that.
I've been saying that
It's
for
like
the
it's only
longest.
fun if you're on drugs. Like the rest of it's boring. Nobody wants to see your natural talent.
I'm sorry. Baseball got more interesting when Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire started doing steroids. It's just true.
Ugh.
It made it to my radar. I don't even watch baseball.
Yeah.
I'm not, but if we're out in the open about it, banning stuff makes it
Even
less
worse.
safe.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems to me like athletes are probably going to always look for shortcuts. Not saying that everybody uses them, but I feel like high functioning ones have to use something.
Shortcuts.
And
Y'all
because
using AI? to upload your resumes. Like, stop acting like we're not using shortcuts. Like, I do think that it's a little unfair to make it seem like, oh, because you did these things that
to make your life easier.
It's like, yeah,
or
that's
possible.
That's what they do.
Because they're doing a lot of so I watched football this weekend.
Ew.
Sorry to the Colts. They did not make it into the playoffs. It was really sad. But the stuff that they're able to do, most people can't do. So it's not like the Popeyes magic spinach where as soon as you inject yourself with like, steroids, you're just like, now I could play football or something like that.
That'd
like,
be
no,
great.
like you're already, it's really just because it breaks your body down so much to keep you from completely collapsing.
Ugh,
It's
terrible.
sad, but none of it's safe. It's not like football's so good for your health.
No, football's actually pretty bad.
Yeah,
for your health,
so if you're already
come to
doing
find out.
something, I mean, we're already doing something harmful. Let's go.
I don't know about all that. But I understand that it's a thing that happens. And, and
that's
sure.
I understand what the point that Kat was trying to make, which was, I don't feel like these people should be in the conversation because I'm so pure.
Just wants to be seen. Like, that's all I saw, and I just
Yeah.
feel sorry for him because I'm like, damn, that's like a really toxic way, or not even. I don't even. What's the word? It's such a sad
It's
way
not
to say that,
collaborative,
like,
because you could be
damn.
mending these relationships and really working with people
and figuring it out. Like, I would have preferred to see him go on blocks.
Yeah.
And had a
Ooh,
conversation
please go
with
on
Neil
blocks.
about this, because at least his platform, again, like, I love that he felt like, let me go on this platform with another black man who I feel safe with, that I can have these conversations or whatever. I respect that. And hopefully, as time moves on, people feel like that with us too, because that's an important thing to curate when you're discussing things that are, maybe like on the line of being one way or another. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like, at least on the Blocks podcast, we could have acknowledged that, like, this is something that gets in my way.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that's blocking my career. This is something that makes me feel fucking crazy, and I can't get over it. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, let's have this conversation with somebody who's a peer, with somebody who you can't say this person hasn't. I mean, and you could say, oh, he's a white man, so he's had an advantage, and probably yes, but you can't take away
He'll
the work
tell
that
you. He'll
he's
be like,
done.
it's great.
Fuck yeah, I did. You know what I'm saying? But I just think I would have rather heard this conversation with Kat and could receive it better and take it more seriously and add the, like, whatever weight he was trying to assign to this conversation that he hoped maybe. If this wasn't just an outright, like, publicity stunt because he's got a tour coming up, which I don't doubt.
Well,
But if it was one of those kind of conversations.
Or if it was with another comedian, because like I said, you're talking to an athlete, and sure, like, they're both competitive and like in your
But
high
talk to
functioning.
somebody in your lane, though.
Yeah, like, because he doesn't
can
really understand. Like, I feel like Shannon Sharpe, from what I know of him, once again, I'm just now getting introduced to him as a TV personality. And it seems like he's good at what he does.
Yeah, he does a good job.
But he's not a stand-up comedian,
He's
and
not.
he hasn't done movies. And from having the privilege of being able to listen to a lot of people who've done movies, who've been in entertainment, who've done stand-up, some of what he was saying made sense.
Oh,
I know,
of course.
but
He
a
wasn't,
lot
like,
of
totally
what he
off
was
base.
saying sounded like sour grapes.
It just sounded like you were grinding. And
A
so
little
again,
bit.
like, that needs to be.
Because he was like, no studios ever lost money with me. It's like, oh yeah, there's a couple studios who
Yeah.
might disagree with
And
you.
so for me, I can't confirm or deny none of that shit because I haven't. Again, that's how I felt about all of it. And I'm just like, this feels like a therapist conversation. This feels like a conversation either you're having with your peers who are also fellow comics, who you feel like, okay, we have this shared experience and we can commiserate about this. Or I have a safe platform to have these conversations with somebody who is a licensed professional that's helping me work through this stuff. Because at the end of the day, Kat is talented. He's funny.
Thank you. I changed my pronouns.
They. All right.
Yeah, it's my compliment now.
And, I do think that, like, there's probably some truth in what he's saying, but at the same time, it's like,
buddy. And it's not
just burning down the
fostering-
house doesn't
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, it doesn't lend itself to people after the fact being like, yeah, let me work with you now.
Because back in 2016, he went back and apologized to Kevin because he had said something crazy on some platform and then went back and was like, oh,
My
man,
bad.
this wasn't something I should have said. Kevin is actually very talented.
Did
he went back and apologized. So I'm curious to see if maybe there might be an apology in the future, maybe when he goes back. Because we do this often here on our podcast. We go back and listen to ourselves and been like, wow, I sounded like a right asshole. And let me just take that right on out.
And it is an interesting exercise when you see yourself, hear yourself outside of yourself. You're like, oh.
Yeah. Gross.
Wow. Yeah, it is. Like, man, how do they tolerate me? You know what I'm saying? It gets to be crazy. So what do you remember any of his thoughts on Steve Harvey?
I think that was really mean. The stuff he said about Steve Harvey was super mean. Now,
what about the Mark Curry stuff, though?
Okay, so I don't know how. I feel like the Mark Curry when he was playing a coach, like in Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
It was the same show, though.
Was it? I remember I used to watch Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and I watched the Steve Harvey show. I mean, they're similar, but I feel like there was still enough difference.
Don't you say that, like, good artists theft anyway?
The Picasso quote.
Do it, friend. You know.
Good artists borrow, great artists steal. But it's only great if you cover up your footprints. Like, you can't just make it super obvious. Now, I don't know that. I mean, here's the thing. I think a lot of it is from the scarcity mentality where it's like, is there a universe where Hanging with Mr. Cooper and Steve Harvey could have both lived? Yes. And that's the thing. We see that all the time with what we call quote unquote white shows. They redo themselves all the time. What was it? The Flintstones was honeymooners. Like everybody kind of the Simpsons is Flintstones. You know, like it's just it kind of the creative process does sort of borrow from other stuff. I don't think that Steve Harvey did anything so egregious as because he's not necessarily, he didn't want to do stand-up anymore. He wanted to go into radio and television. I think that was probably the right move for him. He seems to be doing very well.
He does. And I mean, let Kat tell it, though. The reason why he is not in comedy anymore is because he got embarrassed at that comedy showcase
where he got his bald spot.
He told him you were in a lace front. And I remember discovering that and that being like a point of hilarity for my friends and I, being like, we were calling him Lace Front Harvey for a while. Because it's like, he got lace fronts. This is because it was me and Kay.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was our thing that we just cracked up about because we're like, no wonder it was so perfect because it was a goddamn lace
That does
front.
make sense.
It makes sense.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? He exposed him or whatever.
As someone
That's
who
fine. I have
enjoys a good hairpiece myself,
okay.
I don't want
to.
I don't want to cast aspersions on Mr. Harvey for playing with his look, but
for his man unit.
However, as a heterosexual woman, I do prefer it when men just embrace the fact that they're bald now. Like,
do men want that from us? Do you want us to embrace that we're bald now?
Yeah, I mean, if there's a very...
Be for real. Y'all, though?
I'll bring up Cola Booth every time. Like, true African feminine beauty is baldness.
Who appreciates true feminine African beauty?
Some men.
Okay, well...
We'll find them somewhere.
Leave a comment if you love true African beauty.
Like I said, there's nothing wrong. And because I think in Napoli Ever After, Sanaa Lathan's character,
she cut her hair off.
She cut her hair off when she was. That was actually really sensual. When dude was like rubbing like the little hair oil on her scalp. That looked nice.
I would like that.
I mean, listen. Here's the thing: if a man likes you, he'll like you whatever your hair's doing.
That's true.
You know, like quite honestly, he'll be like, "Listen, babe, we'll get you a wig, whatever we gotta do."
Right. You still have all the other stuff I like, right? Okay, cool. Let's get to that.
Like, it'll be fine. But yeah, I thought he was super mean to Steve Harvey. I didn't think Steve deserved that. And I'm not even a huge Steve Harvey fan, for real.
Oh, he went in. But so what I found interesting too, because even before I heard this interview, I saw something with Mark Curry saying that Steve Harvey was stealing his jokes and used them like on the King of Car. Like he went in specifically about this too.
Well, that would make sense as to why he's not a stand-up anymore. Because stand-up is hard.
Stand-up is hard.
And writing is hard. And if that's true, Steve should cut him a check.
So, like, I think even, like, with you saying, like, okay, we all borrow art, like, we're all inspired from each other. Like, I want to do an episode coming up talking about, does that make me crazy? The idea comes from blocks, you know what I'm saying? Because we've kind of talked about it, but I want to do something specific that kind of, like, digs into stuff that we're like, does that make me crazy?
Am I a crazy person?
Because I feel like that. And I'm like, do y'all feel me? Because
I'm okay with being crazy, though. I think that's the difference, where it's just like, I'm obviously crazy. Like,
we all are.
I'm just a crazy person. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if that were true about Mark Harvey. Because here's the thing, like, when you listen to comedians talk about this kind of stuff, because with Joe Rogan, when he was talking about Carlos Mencia stealing his jokes, the whole thing is you're not going to be able to keep having a career doing that.
No, and
like, there's
credit me, like, at the end of the
just
day,
pay me. Because that was the thing. I think Louis C.K. said one time, when he was getting started, Joan Rivers came up to him and she was like, I like that joke, I want to buy it from you. And he was like, oh, I don't want to sell it, I'm new, I need it for my act. She was like, look, I can either pay for it or I'm gonna steal it.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, let's have this business conversation.
So what do you want to do?
Because I'm bigger than you and I can.
And I can.
And I want to offer you something because usually people don't. Like, you could just see me on tour,
This
bitch.
is the nicest version of this. This is as nice as this can go down right now. So, and that's what ends up happening. A lot of comedy writers, I feel like for years, that's what Neil did. He kind of wrote for Dave.
I think you
and then at a certain point, he felt comfortable enough where he's like, you know what? I'm ready to find my own voice. But he still writes jokes for lots of other comics. And they're open about it. It's not something to even be ashamed of.
Or I have an idea for a joke. And
Can
it's
you
not
help me
quite
flesh it
there.
out?
Yeah. Yep. So I just think if you're going to borrow and be inspired by other people, it's
Just
good
cite
to
your
credit
work.
them. I think it's like, if you're not going to hide it so good that I can't find it in there, you need to just go ahead and be like, yo, I was inspired by this. This is where I got this idea. This is why I'm doing it. Credit the person, man. Like, at the end of the day, we all want to be seen. Obviously, we see that in Katt's interview. This man wants to be heard. He desperately feels like he's worked very hard.
And he did work hard. Because I don't want to take anything away from Katt Williams.
No, but like, you don't have to take away from other people to do that.
It doesn't
like,
make
just
your candle shine any brighter.
It doesn't. And, you know, I'll say that just because people don't get a chance to have a Netflix special or something like that, you don't know what kind of opportunities they may or may not have had access to. That doesn't mean, because think about all the art that gets pushed out that ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then there's artists whose stuff isn't highlighted. So there is this dichotomy of, like, you know, certain art getting pushed to the forefront for whatever reasons, and then like the other art maybe necessarily not being pushed forward. So, I mean, it's a little bit of both. So I just feel like you just chill. Kat.
Yeah, clearly.
Like,
one of my favorite, actually, I think I screenshotted it. Oh, and I put it on my phone.
It's not.
No,
you can't.
I didn't. I can probably look it up. I'll paraphrase it. It was Ice Cube, because he was talking about how someone had made some comment about Ice Cube, because he wanted to clear up this stuff between Ricky Smiley and Katt Williams, and he said originally, you know, Ricky Smiley wrote for it. Later on, they just decided to change it to Katt Williams. He never had a scene where he was getting raped. Like, yeah,
really?
he said that was never something that was gonna be on screen. He was like, I would never write that. And then he also said that, you know, for people who complain about how much money I pay them, he's like, I've had a lot of people be in my movies. I've never been asked to be in anybody else's movies. He's like, I'm an actor. I'm still working. What's up?
Ooh. There you go, right there. Look at him. Holla at me. According to Ice Cube, Ricky did give Money Mike a shot, but when we saw him, how he moved, how he was auditioning, we decided that he'd be better Santa Claus, which was a perfect casting. Okay. Oh God, get her out of here.
Yeah, he kind of cleared the air.
Okay.
He was just like, look, like, yeah, there was something there, but it's also nothing for me to be upset about. Like, if Ricky Smiley has said, I don't even know what Ricky Smiley said, honestly. Like I said, I'm just now becoming familiar with the platform. But I do listen to Ricky Smiley in the morning. It's the Ricky Smiley morning show. Mm-hmm. But it's just for the music. Usually when they start talking, I turn it off.
I can't listen to the radio no more.
Can I just say, I miss having a local morning show here in our city. Like,
we haven't had that in forever.
We haven't had it. Guy Black and your morning team.
Ooh, we could be a morning team.
God, I feel like that is what the city is missing.
Really?
I do. I miss that so much, like having someone connected to the city start my morning, like having that local flair. Because I feel like everything is like, okay, you're in Atlanta, you're on the East Coast, whatever. I don't mind listening to the Breakfast Club sometimes, but I feel like I really miss having a local morning show on the radio. So.
Wow. So holler at us. Maybe
Holler
it's
at
us.
us. Well, I can wake up early.
I do all the time. You just have to pay me enough to where I can leave my day job.
Yeah. So, you want to take a break?
Let's take a break.
All right.
Friends, we'll be right back. And we're back, guys.
Wow, what a great break.
Yeah, great break.
I liked it.
We were sitting up here watching, just
consuming more Katt Williams content. He's an incredibly entertaining individual. He can roast like no other. I think I like it better when the target is deserving. That's the thing. Like sometimes it feels a little, but what's
and if
the name?
they're deserving,
Wanda
I
Smith
don't know.
Didn't really. Here's the thing too, because when you have someone on as your guest, you definitely shouldn't be trying to light them up.
No,
Even
you
if
shouldn't. And I don't believe in like ambushing a guest. Like if you tell a guest, hey, you're here, we're talking about these things, I won't mention these things, and then you turn around and do so, like it's fair game.
Especially when that was live.
Right. Radio shows are live, and what I'm not getting ready to do is try an actual comedian on my show so I can get roasted. I'm being so nice.
I don't know what was going on. One time, Deion Curry was like, "Oh, you want to roast?" I was like, nope,
absolutely not.
Even a little.
I don't.
I don't want to get my feelings hurt. I'm sensitive.
I don't. Right. Thank you. And you do this for a living.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. It's so mechanical and it's so innate for them that it's not even like I'm trying to ruin your life. But I just will, though, because I can. And I will, though. So be careful.
Easily.
Be careful. Yeah, absolutely. So
Pick your battles.
I don't want to smoke. But yeah, Wanda Smith was tripping. I did see that interview prior to all of this, and she was.
So I didn't even know who she was.
Yeah,
so to me, that didn't mean a whole lot when he was talking about her. But now looking back, it seems like all those statements were justified.
I mean, like I think in the midst of his interview, there were things that he was talking about that were truthful. And
the only thing I will correct: he does not have 19 inches of hair.
No,
I know
say
exactly
that.
what 19 inches of hair looks like. You do pay a premium for that.
In fact, this is 18. Like these bundles are 18, and look how long these are.
Yeah,
in the back. So Kat was hitting his hair. I mean, my natural hair is longer than his. He's about a 10-inch, and that's good. And he's got hair, and that's fine. And
he didn't have to tell her the headphones were attached to the wig, though.
Wow.
That was wild.
That's
I could
hilarious.
use one of those though.
So good.
I wouldn't
it's
be
like
too
girl
good.
in a crunch.
I mean,
Sin, I might need that thing right there.
I need to do my hair now.
Do you? It looks so nice still.
Thank you. You're sweet. I need to.
It
needs
looks
to be
so
washed.
good.
And that's what happens sometimes, though. Like finally, when the oils run down.
Yeah, it's like the oils run down. It's like the oils.
When the oils run down,
When
the
they
oils
run
come down.
Wow. Well, it looks good. I like it. When the oils finally do come down, looks great. I don't know. Do you have any final thoughts about the whole Katt Williams
What else did
thing?
we talk about? Was that everybody?
So let's go. I'm gonna go through. So this is
That
a
was
Vulture
3 hours
episode.
of
It
everybody
was.
getting it. I will say the parts of the interview where he talked about himself were the most fascinating.
Well, we love hearing people's stories too, though.
Yes,
so, like,
and he
we're
has
biased.
an extraordinary one. I just think that
Let's
maybe
focus on
he
that.
should. Does he have a book?
I don't know, but his book. I would definitely read his book.
Yeah,
And I'd love to have him come on our show and talk
would
about his life and
too.
stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You asked, was that all he talked about? So this is a vulture.com article here. So Kevin Hart, Cedric the Entertainer, Kanye West.
Oh, what do you say about Kanye?
Kanye. I suspect that we're pretty awful people if we say that somebody got mental illness and then we watch what they do. If you say somebody got special needs, then why would you be watching them and holding them accountable like everybody else? Wouldn't you be grading them on a curve? Because I mean, what are you reacting to? You're the only one that put him in the position where he thought that he was God and he could call himself Jesus. And you're the only one that told the guy that writes musical lyrics that he was a genius. You're the one So what do you expect? The guy married a whore. I mean, married her because she was one. Oh wow, damn! I didn't hear that
going
shit.
in. Wow.
Oh god.
Come on now.
Okay. Not that he didn't know. He understood what he understood that he wanted that. He courted that. That's what he wanted to do, wanted to base his family on. If what I'm saying is not correct, then how did she end up with Pete Davidson? Ooh, god damn. Oh shit. Okay, and what if you weren't even good enough for Pete and he leaves you? Whoa. So he's, oh shit, shot fires to her.
Okay, I can't wait to see Kanye's response. That should be fun.
Okay. What do you mean the product was? No, I don't support or villainize Kanye because I don't understand what it is we want from him. I don't know why we look at a baseball player and say he didn't score no hockey goals in the whole season. He don't play hockey, so.
Okay, that got a little disjointed at the end. I kind of believed at the beginning because honestly, I agree with that. Like, if we all agree that Kanye might have suffered from mental illness and
then
stuff,
we
like
can't be
watching
holding him too.
Yeah.
It's like clearly he's having an episode, kind of like this episode, just kind of like this.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna hold you to the same standards as someone who's not manic.
I'm trying to keep some empathy for you in my heart and trying to understand that, like, yeah, because
now calling Kim, well, here's the whole thing. I don't villainize whores. Like, I don't have whorephobia, so. Even if she is a whore, which I wouldn't go so far to say, I don't think that means like she's somehow unacceptable for marriage. You know, like somehow like she's unworthy because
her
she's
vagina's
sexual.
on film.
Yeah, because she's sexual.
But for a lot of men, that like
disqualifies you from having respect.
100%.
Yeah. Even though they're the ones going to whores.
Yes.
Interesting. So, on that point, and then that's the thing too, because I'm not even a big Kim Kardashian fan, but I just don't like anybody being villainized for
hunching,
for consensual sex.
Yeah,
like I think there's too much unconsensual sex going on that we should be going after before we start going after the consensual sex. So. To me, that would, and she seems like she raises her kids and for the most part, she's not hurting anybody for real.
No, and I mean, she's got people for that.
She does.
Fuck it.
She does. So, and the thing too, like she's allowed to have a fling after her divorce. So I'm not even mad about the Pete Davidson thing. He's probably fun on a bun.
Thing. Yeah. Probably was.
So, yeah, that whole thing. But yeah, with Kanye, I do agree with the first part. It got a little disjointed at the end. Okay,
all right, so here's the list.
About?
Then we have the Harvey Weinstein. They canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my penis in front of all of the people in my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there. It's 3 other black guys there. I told him, what y'all do? Oh shit. So that's it. Okay. So and then he's Steve Harvey.
I'm not
Ricky
going to cape for Harvey Weinstein.
I'm not. Steve Harvey, Chris Tucker. The Chris Tucker that we have now is the Epstein Island Chris Tucker, not Smokey. Chris Tucker didn't want to be the poster child for smoking weed. He don't smoke weed like that. He's in the church. He Michael Jackson's best friend. Michael Jackson called him Christmas. You ever met a man that gave you a nickname like that? Whoa.
Men give each other nicknames, so I'm not even going to try
play
to
on the
be
field.
Like, yeah,
hey,
that's
Christmas.
Whatever. Chris Tucker gets to say he was friends with Michael Jackson. I wish I could say that.
Then we have Diddy.
He didn't call
Wanda
him
Smith, Faison Love, Michael Blackson, Jonathan Majors, Joe Rogan, Ludacris, Martin Lawrence.
Oh, what did he say about Martin Lawrence? I missed the Martin Lawrence stuff.
He was saying Martin tried to put him. He said Martin tried to put me in my first dress. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
He went on that hiatus, came back and stuff, and was like, "Yo, we're gonna do this movie together when you come back." And then he said we're gonna do like some buddy cop shit or whatever. And then Martin said, "You got my motherfucking bird, nigga." You know what I'm saying? And so when you come back, I'm going to do your movie. Don't trip. I'm going to need to see the script. I don't need to see, he said he didn't need to see the script or anything. Whatever you have going on, Martin, I'm there for you. Then he said, would you know this fool pulled out Big Mama House 2 on me? I almost died. And I got to read the script in front of all of these goddamn white people where this nigga want me to get in that dress with him.
Okay, well then don't say you're gonna do whatever without reading the script.
Right.
And then
It's
get there
like,
and have a problem
tell
with
them,
the spit.
I
Like,
ain't getting in no dresses, man.
yeah,
Like, I'll do whatever
or
you
to
want
be like,
outside
I'll do
of
whatever you
getting.
want. I just don't want to wear a dress.
I don't want to
or
be sexually
do any gay.
assaulted, and I don't want.
And it's very common for actors to have the things they don't do.
Sure.
Like there are plenty of actors who don't do nudity. They don't do sex scenes. Like there's nothing wrong with having boundaries.
It's not.
But also don't tell people I'll do whatever and then show up and not do whatever.
It's like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, like that was on you.
Okay. Well, so then.
Who was the other person?
That was it. So the
Okay.
last one was Taraji, but he wasn't saying anything bad about her. He was sympathizing with the fact that
and
she
he said
felt
good stuff
underpaid.
about
and
the
stuff like
Migos.
that.
He
He
good
did.
for the Migos.
Yeah, because he was like, because I mean, basically the point was made that like Katt does go out of his way to support young up and coming people, but he doesn't like to say a lot about it. But he was bringing it up, and he was like, I mean,
Yeah. Oh, he said he'll tithe.
yeah,
Like if he makes a certain
basically.
amount of money, he'll like give something to somebody who might have been struck. Like all they're getting is applause right now, and they just need a little something. And that's
because
what's
he
up.
knows how hard it is,
It
and
is.
it's like, I'm by myself out here. So yeah, I mean, Katt
Williams.
love you, bro. I just,
Yeah.
whatever this is
Part
that
of
you're
love
going
is not
through-
supporting bullshit.
Yeah, and so my thing is like he gets to speak his truth or whatever. I just want to make sure that the actual objective of what you're saying is getting across, though, because when you go on a platform and it seems like you're just like shitting on your counterparts, I'm not even gonna tell you that it's not valid or whatever, because again, like I don't know what goes down. I
mean,
really
everybody
don't.
can talk shit.
Everybody can talk shit, and everybody has their vantage point. Like everybody has the story that they're telling themselves. But at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, I just want to see him have like some resolution in a personal sense of like being able to move on from whatever he feels like these unjust things that have happened. Because at the end of the day, I mean, all of the systems that we're working in are corrupt and unfair, and nobody feels like they're getting the recognition that they deserve based on the work that they're doing. Like, you're not alone. So I feel you on that. At the same time, I just feel like it's a little messy, friend. But it does get clicks because here we are talking about it. So thank you, but also like take care of yourself.
Yeah, want to see you drink some water.
Drink some water, friend. Take some naps. Talk to some people who, have your best interest at heart. And really like,
like a fiduciary therapist.
Yes, like they have to do it for your best interest.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because it just,
And shout out to Club Shay Shay. Good for you.
man, you got all the clicks,
You
friends.
did.
Even Amanda Seales was like, yo, put me on your show.
Yeah, I'd love to be on.
Shannon.
Sure, why not?
I feel like Shannon would be trying to get with Amanda.
He should.
Yeah, she's
Why
an
wouldn't he?
amazing. I don't know. She's a cute and
yeah.
smart lady. You know what I'm saying? She seems like she'd be a good time.
Go for it.
Anywho, but yeah, so I don't know. It made me feel like it makes it, to me, it just kind of highlights the fact that like no matter what position you find yourself in, it is important to have spaces that you feel comfortable speaking your truth. And hopefully the Fake Ass Book Club will be that for people when they come on our platform. I know it is for me.
Yeah,
Personally,
definitely.
you know what I'm saying, with you, because we definitely get to talk our shit on our
I'm
show.
never afraid to say what's on my mind.
I am sometimes.
There's no stakes. It doesn't matter.
I disagree.
People will forget,
I mean, eventually over time though, right? But I mean, like once you've said something, you can't unsay stuff. That's why I like to be careful about the way I say things too, because it's like, I don't want you pulling up a clip of me being like, because you never know how people take in the things
That's
you say to
true.
them. And it's like, damn, I don't, it's never my purpose to say something to somebody that takes them out completely. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, sometimes it is. Like
I said what I said.
Like how
but
Kat got on a girl.
what
He
you
said what he
said
said
was
some bullshit. Okay?
Watch the whole clip.
Watch the whole thing. Yeah. Y'all, if you know, you know. But yeah, so like for me, I just want some peace for his soul, man, because it just feels like he has a lot of unresolved issues. His story sounds absolutely fascinating. Kat, if you ever write a book or want to share your story, holler at us, because we love sharing our narratives here. And I don't know how we rate this interview. I can't even do it. Do you want to rate this interview?
Wow.
You weren't even prepared for that.
How would I rate? Because this is very meta. We're rating another podcast.
I mean, we're not like saying how do we think he interviewed him or anything, but just
just the impact on the culture. I got to give it, especially in the holidays.
I got to give it a 5.
I mean, own it. I got 5 on it.
5 out of 5
on
press
it.
outs.
Press outs.
That's what I'm giving
I'm
it.
gonna give it 5 out of 5 chicken curries. I'm
Oh,
sorry, I'm
let's
not
go.
gonna shut
Not
up
the
about
chicken
it.
curry's
I
so
have a
good.
slightly obsessive personality.
Wow. I'm like, was it that good? Because I tasted it like
because you made it today, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be better tomorrow.
It is. That's true. The
Oh my
seasonings
God,
are
that
gonna
seems
like
unfair.
definitely.
So that's what I
Take
should
some
do.
home
If
with
I
you.
had anything about myself, I will. And if I have anything about myself, I should go to the store when I leave here. So I have the ingredients, make it tonight, and then have it tomorrow.
Oh.
Because I have to go home and clean my house still.
Oh.
I didn't clean up for New Year's, so my house is still as messy as it was in 2023.
Oh no.
Oh no! You're not
Oh,
supposed to do that. I did anyway. There's no
Well,
rules.
Right. It's like who's gonna check me, boo?
There's
Since
no
we're
police
doing
for that.
housewife callbacks. Yeah, man. So is there anything coming up that's going on, man?
Oh, yes.
your calendar, friend. Is there anything you
I'm
wanna
sure
share?
there are. Oh, what is going on? What do I have on my
I
calendar?
don't know, man. I'm gonna tell you right
have
now.
I talked
haven't
about it
been
on
doing
here?
anything.
I'm hosting pub trivia.
I think
I'm
maybe.
officially like out of my probation period. So
You
I've
made
been
it.
hosting pub trivia every Thursday at Pearl Street Pizzeria. And it's intense, guys. Don't come unless you're ready to play.
I'm not. That's doing too much. Y'all are
Let's
doing
see.
too much.
Soccer starts back this week.
Okay. School comes back. Kids are going
Track
back.
starts back this week. School starts back this week. I'm gonna try to rest. That's what I have coming up. I'm gonna get some serious ass resting in. I'm gonna do my hair. I'm gonna do my nails. I'm gonna do like one of those body scrubs and
I
get the
love
dead
those.
skin off.
I did that today.
See, that's what's up.
Body
so
scrub.
I'm gonna. That's what's up. Coming is some hardcore pampering.
Some self-care. I like that. I would love to get a massage coming
I need
up.
that so bad. My body is so sore. My body is
my God.
every cell of my body is screaming right now.
Shout out to all the working folks. This it's so hard, you guys. It's so hard. I just so you know, we know that we have an understanding here. This place is crazy, honestly.
That song, Running Up That Hill. I'll be running that hill. That's what it is. Every day is just like you get to stop sometime and be like, and then you just keep going.
It was so cute because today, you know, we met up earlier. So I called you right when I got up. I set my alarm for 9 o'clock because I was up till like 3:30.
I didn't see your text until later. Sorry, I was in the shower.
No, it's okay. It was fine. That's why I was like, let me just call her.
Yeah, you know the order of operations.
I do know the order of operations. But yeah, like I had stayed up. I had a date night with my husband. We saw a movie. We had dinner, and we stayed up chit chatting, talking and stuff. Like we were in high school and stuff, and it was cute and fun. So, but 3:30 is not cute and fun when you have to be up to do Granny's nails. I mean, but I still got 6 hours, which is still pretty good though. But I was tired, and then after that went grocery shopping, came home cooked, and I was like, guys, hey, I was telling my kids, let's like watch. We had started watching again Harry Potter. We've watched Harry Potter so many times. Not Prisoner of Azkaban, Order of the Phoenix.
It's a good one.
Yeah, that one was your favorite, right?
My favorite is Prisoner of Azkaban,
Okay.
where we find out about
I like it.
Scabbers. That
Okay.
blew my mind.
Okay.
I'm still reeling. I'm quite honestly.
I'm reeling, okay?
I'm still reeling. But I did like Prisoner of
Order of Phoenix.
Order of the Phoenix because it's about like the Death Eaters are back and nobody wants to believe you.
In
And I
the
feel like
room
it's a
of
metaphor for racism where people are like, everyone wants to believe it's over. And
Fake
it's like,
news. It has everything. It's such a good story. So anyway, I was like, you guys want to watch
but
Harry Potter?
we're not anti-trans though. Like because
What?
a lot of people want to cancel Harry Potter because J.K. Rowling is anti-trans.
Okay, but her story transcends all of that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but
not even
I'm
about
just
her no
saying,
more.
like
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like I don't
Okay.
tend to cancel people's work. I might
Oh,
cancel.
okay.
Like I'm not gonna go see you talk, but I'm still gonna watch this movie. Be
Yeah,
real.
I still
Be for
enjoy
real.
it. Yeah, it's already in my life. But no, I was like, do you guys want to watch me fall asleep while we watch Harry Potter? And they were like, yeah.
Sometimes yes, because
So
then
I
I
tried
can
to
lay
kind
on
of fall
you.
asleep. Right, exactly. So I was kind of falling asleep, didn't quite. And my son was like, Mom, I thought you were supposed to be taking a nap. You're not supposed to be getting up. So it was just really cute because he was trying to make sure I was
Take
taking
care
my
of
nap.
you.
Yes.
He's like, stay down.
So cute. Thank Thank you, sir. Thank you.
They do.
Anywho.
Oh, well, this is going forever.
It would. You guys, this was a lot of fun.
Your body belongs to you.
It does. And then just, guys, be involved in the stuff you love. Life is short.
Next
We're
week,
only here
Killer
for a little
Moon, I
time.
promised. Killers of the Flower Moon. I promise. I'm just going to deal with it. I'm going to take some beta blockers. It'll be fine.
Okay. You heard it here first, you guys. All right, bye, guys. See you next week. Peace.
Before we go, we must give thanks to Urban Nerd for providing our music, and legal services were handled by Trezanae M. Atkins. If you like what you heard, please feel free to join us every Wednesday for another fake-ass book club. Cheers.
Thank you guys for listening. You can check us out at thefabpodcast.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast wherever you're listening right now. We want to hear from you. Come put it in our life. Thanks again, and until next time, peace, love, and the Fake Ass Book Club. We out.